Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, I have two disclaimers I must give, right? So I do apologize for not being able to make a video last week as my dad was in the hospital and he has since transitioned, and timing was just a little bit different as far as making videos. So I wanted to apologize for that. And the next disclaimer is that, you know what, I'm not a financial advisor, y'all. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So y'all see, as of now, Tesla closed at 298.26, and we are at the 320. We've reached a high of 323 pre-market. That is the high of this candle here. What is interesting is what's moving the market today. I do believe it was that deal with China or discussions with China, or either or, y'all. I always say trade what you see. Yes, the news is going to affect the market again, but keep in mind what goes up eventually comes down, considering we're going to be up about 20 something dollars pre-market. We are up that now. So will we continue climbing or will we decline? That's something to be mindful of. Not saying that we cannot continue climbing. Let me say that again, not financial advice, but where are the trouble places where I like to start, right? So where are the trouble places for Tesla as of right now? We again are looking at this 30-minute chart, and as you can see, price has been just gathering in this area. It's above the 5 EMA, and it's right at an area that I had previously marked. I've been charting Tesla for a few years now, so I kind of know where possible trouble places are until it gives me another high on up, right? So where are the trouble places? Support round of, let's say that 320.30 is our support area right now. Resistance, it seems as if we were having trouble here at this 321.81. As you can see, there's a lot of sellers, those wicks at the top. There's a few sellers in that area. Definitely need to watch that. So around the 321.80, 321.94 area, that's going to be an area of rejection. Now, should we break that, I would still watch. I'm going to see if I can put a line there just so that we can see. I would still watch this area here, because price came to this line here for some reason and got rejected 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That means Tesla has tried to break through this area a few times and got rejected. So as of now, support is around, again, that 320.30 resistance. We're going to use here at this 322.84. That is the zone that Tesla is trading in right now. And if we should break that level, we could possibly have trouble again here at 325.10. Should we break that 325.10, there's a couple of layers, 325.36. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again, 328.35. If we break that 328.35, we have 329.42. Again here at 331.52. And if we should break that, 332.58. Now, if we break that 332.58 again, we can come back to 333.77. Those are going to be resistance areas for Tesla as of now. Again, we are going to gap up this morning, and which is going to create a gap to the downside. So let's look and see where our trouble places could be going to the downside. Under this level of 320.30, we could very well come back to around 317.93 and find support. Should we break that level, the 20 EMA as of now, 316.95, we could possibly have trouble again here at the 313.43. Should we break that level, the ATR trailing stop is not far away at that 314.60. So my concern, as you can see here, will be breaking this ATR trailing stop. If we should break that 314.60 area, we could very well come back to around 312.71. As you can, we'll mark it here. Price gathered in this area right here for a reason, right? So we need to definitely watch that 312.57. If we should break that level, we can come back to 311.28. Breaking that brings us back to around the 308.47. And you can see here the 50 EMA is really close to that area. So 308.24 is the 50 EMA as of now. So that could be a strong support area for us. Should we break that, we could very well come back to 306.75. find some type of support. Losing that 304.29, 302.79, 301.12, and again here at 299.75. Breaking that level brings us back to 297, 297.59, which is kind of like in this zone here. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are kind of areas to the upside and to the downside. Again, y'all, not financial advice, right? So we are now looking at the SPY, and as you can see, yes, my SPY charts and Tesla charts are just a little bit congested, y'all, only because I kind of like to chart, and I have been doing that for a few years with Tesla and the SPY. So where are the trouble places for the SPY today? We closed at 564.34. As you can see, we made a pre-market high of 582.92, which is going to create a gap from, to the upside. However, the gap to the downside will need to be filled at some point. Not saying that's going to be today. So where are the trouble places? I will use it. We had this level here marked. I like to see that, y'all. 582.80 is what I had. It made a high of 582.92, had some trouble in that area, got rejected, and it seems like it's trying to come back down and find some type of support. Y'all, I do that often. So let's go back. So it's going to try to come back down and find some type of support around this area here. And as you can see, the body of this candle and the wick of this candle is not far from each other. So it's something going on in this zone right here for the SPY, which is the 580.31. So we definitely need to remember that. That could be our support area. So back to the upside. Should we bounce back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble, let's say around here, the 580.77, 580.93, 581.37. But before we go there, something stopped us in this area here. So 581.25, then the 581.37, breaking that 581.79, and should we break that again, 582.20, breaking that brings us back here to 582.53, and should we break that 582.80, if we break the 582.80, we could very well come back to the 582.92 and possibly have some trouble. Now, should we go back to the upside and break that 582.92, it is possible. I say anything is possible in this market, right? We could very well have trouble again around the 583.45. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are kind of like areas to the upside that I would watch. 583.45. If we break that level, 584.12, and breaking that brings us back to 584.42. So let's look at the SPY to the downside, and if we should break this level, 580.14, we could very well find support 579.91, 579.74, again at 579.03. Should we break that level around the 578.54 area, breaking that 578.34, and should we break that, we're coming back down to 577.71. Possibly, let me say that. Should we break that area, it could very well bring us back to 577.06. So let me see if yes, 577.06, and y'all see here, there's a lot of layers of support here, and my concern would be if we break under the 576.74. The ATR trailing stop is here at 576.36, and I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit bigger. There we are. Oh, that's a lot better. Thank you. So as of now, my concern would be breaking under the 576.74 and, losing the support at the ATR trail and stop around the 576.36. And as you can see, there is an area here that I like to see, an area that we've previously marked as a support area. That is our ATR trail and stop as of now. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are kind of areas to the upside and to the downside. And y'all know I say in this market, I say it often, right? So in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, be careful. I always say trade what you see, right? So we're now looking at NVDA. We closed at 116.65, and as you can see, we've hit a high here of 123.06. Looks like we've gotten rejected there. There's a few rejection areas, and resistance is kind of around the 122.64. The support area as of now, 121.75, and as you can see, we're kind of trading in this zone here. So where are the trouble places? Let's look back to the upside. By chance we break back above 122.28, we could possibly have trouble again. 122.64, 122.87, 123.20, and if we should break that, 123.78, breaking that 123.78, 124.41, and again at 124.30, 124.97. Now, if we break that 124.97 for NVIDIA, which will be interesting, we could very well have trouble 124.95. I really need to get my, yes, 124.95. So I would definitely watch those areas to the upside and to the downside. Now, let's look at that downside. Under 121.75, which is our kind of like our support area now, we could possibly have trouble or support 121.45. Breaking that, the 20 EMA as of now, 121.12. Should we break that, 120.89, breaking that, the ATR trailing stop, y'all know that's strong support in my opinion. So it's 120.63. Breaking that 120.63, we could very well come back to 120.25. Breaking that, 119.96, which is an area over here that we found a lot of support at before. So I would watch that 119.96, and if we should break that, we could very well come back to around 119.58, which, as you can see, that's kind of like where our 50 EMA is right now. So I would, if you're trading NVIDIA today, those are kind of areas to the upside and to the downside. Now, what's interesting is if we break this 119.58, there's a few layers of support here. So I would say under the 119.17, should we break that, we could very well come back to 118.53. Again, here at 118.30, there's a few layers here. So breaking that 118.12, we can come back to around 117.86. So if you're trading NVIDIA today, those are kind of areas to the upside and to the downside. Y'all, again, I look at support and resistance on a much smaller scale, because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. And I say kind of, y'all, because anything is possible. We are now looking at AMD, and as you can see, we closed at 102.84, and we've made a pre-market high of 110.70. It looks like we've gotten rejected here, right? And I do need to go back and grade those out. I just have yet to have time to do so. I do apologize for that. So that 110.70 is a rejection area for us. We traded sideways here. That is our gathering spot. We are now under the 5 EMA. Where are the trouble places? That 5 EMA is definitely going to be a trouble place back to the upside. However, breaking that, we could still have trouble again, 109.72. Again, 109.91. Breaking that, 110.37. Breaking that, 110.65. And if we should break that, 111.03. And again here at 111.39. So if we break that 111.39 for AMD, we could very well have trouble again, 112.01. And let's see if we break that 112.01, the next level I have marked is around the 112 or 113.01. So definitely, if you're trading, you know, AMD, those are possible, let me say possible areas of rejection. Now, if we break this level of 109.16, if we break 109.16, which as you can see here, something is giving us support right here. So we definitely need to remember this level here for AMD, that 109.18 area, something is holding us up. Should we break that, we could possibly come back to 108.60, and breaking that brings us back to 108.08. And you can see here, that is where our 20 EMA is as of now. Breaking that level brings us back to the ATR trail and stop at 107.65. Y'all see why it's so important we mark that support and resistance. Even if we don't use the indicators, you know, we can just mark support and resistance. That is the key to trading, in my opinion, right? So breaking this level here for AMD at the 107.65, which is the ATR trailing stop and a previous support area that we had, we could very well find support 107.28, breaking that 106.94, 106.51, and as you can see, price gathered here in this area here for a while. So that's kind of like a zone for us. We definitely need to watch AMD. I would say on the 105.81 area. Should we break that, we could very well come back to 105.24 again here at 104.85 and again at 104.40. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of rejection or support. Again, not financial advice, y'all. Keep in mind, a lot of things are going to possibly gap up today, which creates a gap to the downside that will possibly need to be filled. Not saying that that is going to take place today, just saying that there is a gap to the downside. Now, we are looking at Meta, and as you can see, we closed at 592.49. We have made a pre-market high thus far at 635.10. Something stopped us at that 635.10 area. 635.10. something stopped us at that area. So we definitely need to be careful in this zone here. Now what's interesting is, it's having some trouble in this place. So because we got rejected, are we going to come back down and try to break through? That's something to be mindful of. I say anything is possible, right? So where are the trouble places? Right now our support for Meta is around 2618. It is under the 5 EMA, so we need to get back above that, which is around the 627.26 area as of now. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble 630.17. Should we break that area, we could possibly come back to this, these area here of 634.52. Breaking the 634.52 area, we could possibly have trouble again at 635.10. And if we should break that, I have 642.10. Keep in mind there is something here that could possibly stop us out, right? So breaking this level here of 642.60, we could possibly have trouble again for Meta at 648.31, and again here at 651.55. Now to the downside, should we break this level of 624.76, y'all see there's a few layers of support right here. So I would say under 622.08, under the 622.08, we could very well come back to 619.63, which is the ATR trailing stop and close to the 20 EMA. Now should we break this, it's going to be strong support for Meta in my opinion under that 619.56. We could very well come back to 617.71 again here at this 614.55. Breaking that level, I have 610.37, which the 50 EMA is around the 611.28. So somewhere between here, we could very well find support again. Now for if we should lose this area of around the 610.37, y'all see the price gathered here for a reason. For Meta, I always say find your gathering spots, right? Because price gathered there for a reason here. So I would definitely say if we break under this level of 607.48, we could very well come back to these areas here, which starts around the 604.17 or 604.34 all the way down to this 20 EMA around the $600.39. So if you are trading Meta today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. Y'all know, again, not financial advice in this market. Anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So if you are trading today, I say trade carefully. There's so much going on and make sure that you set your stop losses, y'all. That is very important. However, whatever it is that you choose to use, make sure that you have the discipline to execute your plan. Again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable day, a very, very productive day. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. So with that being said, until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.